Good afternoon, Prairie View Christian Church. Today is Wednesday, August 26th, 2020, and it's time for your midweek update. This will be one of the shorter updates. We don't have a ton to add, a ton to say, just a few quick announcements, many of which you have gotten used to hearing. The first, obviously, is that we would like you to RSVP for our Sunday morning service. We appreciate that. And this past week, we actually had someone who had some technical difficulties with their computer, and so they called and left a message on Nancy's phone in her office, and that is really helpful. Any way that you can let us know in advance that you're going to be here is helpful for us as we set up the chairs and set up the room. So please RSVP however you can between now and Sunday, even if it's as late as 9:30 a.m. That RSVP is helpful. Ideally, we want you to do it on the website under the Sunday morning tab that will be included in Nancy's email and in our social media posts later in the week. But any way you can RSVP, a text, a phone call, a voicemail, all of that is welcome. All of that is better than nothing. So please RSVP for this coming Sunday, August 30th. On top of that, before Sunday morning comes around, we have a men's breakfast this coming Friday. That is at 7 a.m. here at the church. We've had beautiful weather these past few weeks, and maybe this week will be a little bit different. I think there's a chance of rain in the forecast, but we sit under the awning. We have open air. We don't have to wear masks. We bring breakfast. Sometimes I bring Pop-Tarts. I've been trying to not eat Pop-Tarts recently. Every time we do the men's breakfast, I drive past McDonald's and a sausage biscuit calls my name, but so far I have resisted. But if you want to see if I can continue my discipline of not eating McDonald's sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits for men's breakfast, then I guess you have to come on Friday morning to find out. We've had a couple new faces joining us at the men's breakfast these past couple months, and we would love to see more faces join us this Friday at 7 a.m. as we continue reading in Matthew 26 with Joe Fenimore leading our conversation. So that's this Friday, 7 a.m., men's breakfast at Prairie View. On top of that, we also want to draw your attention to our fellowship meal that we've announced the past couple weeks. We're having our first fellowship meal in quite some time on Sunday, September 20th, celebrating 29 years of ministry at Prairie View Christian Church. That will be outside, socially distanced, so we encourage you to bring blankets and chairs and coolers and all kinds of good stuff like that. It won't be the same as a normal fellowship meal, but it will be nice to eat together on a Sunday after church for the first time in a very long time. So, if you have questions about that, feel free to talk to me, talk to one of the elders, talk to Linda Ayton. I'm sure we'd be happy to tell you more about what we're picturing and what that will look like, and we would love to have you join us on Sunday, September 20th. Now, with that, again, not a whole lot of announcements to share. I'll give you a brief preview of this coming Sunday morning. We are ending 1 Timothy this coming Sunday. This will be our last weekend in 1 Timothy, and then we'll do something new for Labor Day weekend. But in 1 Timothy 6, verses 11 through 21, Paul gives Timothy a few good reminders. He starts out by reminding Timothy of who he's called to be. Specifically, he uses the phrase, man of God. And this week we'll be talking about the significance of that phrase, man of God, and how it might apply to people like us, not just Timothy. From there, Paul also gives Timothy guidance to share with the church in Ephesus, and that pertains especially to Christians who are wealthy. And here at Prairie View, most of us, realistically speaking, fall into that category of wealthy Christians. So the guidance that Paul gives Timothy, that he then wants Timothy to give to the wealthy Christians in Ephesus, that could certainly be valuable and helpful and applicable to Christians like us at Prairie View in Fishers, Indiana in 2020. And then finally, Paul closes the passage with this. O Timothy, guard the deposit entrusted to you. Avoid the irreverent babble and contradictions of what is falsely called knowledge. For by professing it, some have swerved from the faith. Grace be with you. I think a prayer for me as a pastor, I think a prayer for our entire church, I think a prayer for really every single individual believer in Christ is that we would all do our part in guarding the deposit. Each one of us has a role to play in protecting and proclaiming and exhibiting the gospel in how we speak and in how we live and in what we do. And so we all have a responsibility to guard the deposit, protect the deposit, bring glory to Christ, and show the world the truth about Christ through how we live. So my prayer for myself, my prayer for you, my prayer for our church this week is that we would guard the deposit, that we would do it in terms of our Sunday morning worship. We would do it in our things that we do throughout the week, whether it's small groups or men's breakfasts or women's events or youth group or whatever that looks like, and that you all, as believers in Christ, as brothers and sisters in Christ, that every single one of us would be guarding the deposit in our homes, in our own personal godliness, in everything we say and in everything we do and everywhere we go. So pray for our church that we can do that. Pray for other churches that they can guard the deposit as well, our brothers and sisters in Christ and other churches and other places, and that would all come together for God's glory. So again, quick rundown, RSVP for this coming Sunday, men's breakfast this coming Friday, fellowship meal on Sunday, September 20th, and then we'll finish up 1 Timothy this week as well. So with that, that is your midweek update. Thanks for your time. I know it's brief, but maybe that's a good thing. And we look forward to seeing you at church on Sunday morning. So take care.